Hi, this is Bruce Meller with Home Forge again, here today to talk to you about new kitchen ideas. We talked about bath ideas last time. Now I wanted to give you some ideas of what we're seeing in the industry and what kinds of features we're building into kitchens. Kitchens have gone through quite an evolution in the last 100 years. One thing that hasn't changed is the depth of base cabinets. And what we found is, over time, people end up with toaster ovens and knife blocks and coffee machines and Cuisinarts and all kinds of cool appliances that sit on their countertops. The problem is countertops are still 25.5 inches deep. So now half of that is taken up with all these cool features, and you find that you can't even make a sandwich anymore. One thing that we've done for our clients is we put in the same base cabinets that you always have. They're always 24 inches deep, but we pull them forward off the wall about 6 inches. What that does is it gives you, with the countertop, 31.5 inches of countertop, where you had 25.5. That way you get back the space that you had before to make your sandwich. But it doesn't pull you away so far that when you're standing up and reaching into a wall cabinet, you can't reach it. It doesn't cost you any more in cabinets. It just puts empty space behind the cabinets you have now. Costs you a little bit more in countertops, but you're talking about 6 inches times whatever the length of that cabinet is. Not usually very much. It's a great alternative in a kitchen where it's too narrow to put an island. That would just be too crowded. But so wide that you've got all this empty space in the middle that nobody uses because you cook and work on the perimeter of a kitchen. So, great alternative for that. The other thing it does is if you pull the cabinets next to your refrigerator off the wall 6 inches, then you can get a standard depth refrigerator to look built in. So now you get the big refrigerator so you can put huge sheet cakes and pizzas in it, but it's still built in. So you save both ways and you get great features. Another thing we're seeing more now than we have probably in the last 5 years is more open shelving for dishware. People just got tired of opening and closing their doors and unloading and reloading their dishwashers all day long, and then they realized they put glass doors on so they could see their dishes, and finally it evolved to, well, let's just take the doors off, and it makes a lot more sense. Just go out and buy attractive dishes, but leave them open. That way it makes the whole process a lot easier. They're easy to get to when you're cooking, and actually it's a nice feature. I wouldn't do it to every cabinet in a kitchen. You still want to have doors on some, but for the dishes, if you have 1 or 2 that are open, it's a really, really nice feature. Next thing that we talked about was backsplash tile. I have this conversation with folks all the time, and we do a lot of kitchens. People go out and they really spend a lot of time and a lot of effort picking their backsplash tile. I think of backsplash tile as being sort of like the tie if you're wearing a suit. Your suit is the cabinets because that's the biggest color there. Your shirt is probably the paint because you have a nice white area or blue area there, and the tie is the pizzazz. The thing to think about though is once you do your backsplash and it's all done, it's gorgeous on that first day, then you put your Cuisinart and your knife block and everything back and you cover up about half of it. So I think it's a great idea to have a pretty backsplash, but I wouldn't kill myself looking for the be-all end-all tile or putting in individual very expensive tiles as accents when they get covered. Just food for thought. A couple of other things on features. We're finding it very useful. You've seen spice pull-out racks that are usually on either side of a cooktop or either side of the wall cabinets above a cooktop. Those are great, but a new feature that we've seen in the last couple of years that is equally valuable are utensil canisters. It's like a metal canister that you set down into a spice rack. So now you can have spices on one side, and on the other side you can have all those spatulas and things that right now are in a big bucket on your countertop, and they get caught up under the wall cabinets, or they're in a drawer and you have to run through them. If you put them in a canister, they're easier to get, nice and neat when you close them up. Great feature. These are not features that cost a lot of money. The next one, pantries with roll trays. I learned this from one of my clients who said before we put in his pantry with his roll trays, He loved red beans and rice. And he said, what I find is I have like 10 cans of red beans and no rice because everything gets lost in the back and I can't find it. And then now that he has roll trays, he can pull those out and see everything, and he's not buying food 2 and 3 times and losing it in his own cabinet. So roll trays, always a good idea. And then finally, lighting. Again, we talked about lighting in bathrooms. Lighting in kitchens is just as important. And what we're seeing and what really works is more forms of light, but switched separately. So in a typical kitchen, we'll put up recessed lights for the main area. We may have a chandelier. We'll have under cabinet lights. And then we'll usually have pendant lights over an island or over a peninsula. That way, again, if you want to crank all that up and make it bright as an airport and clean it, terrific. But if you're having a party or a cocktail party, or you just have a house guest and you want them to be able to get a snack at night and leave a night light on for them, you can just leave the dimmable under cabinet light on so they can find their way to the kitchen. Or you can put a combination of the can lights and the under cabinet lights. So more lights, but on separate switches and always with dimmers. Makes the best combination. It allows you to change your lighting based on whether you're having a party, eating breakfast, cleaning, whatever you're doing. So those are our ideas on kitchens today, and thank you.